Please welcome your guest judge, Bostonian and award-winning chef, Tony Maas.
Being here in Boston, we're getting all these history lessons, and now we see a lot of different authors on the bookshelf, and I'm thinking, definitely wish I paid attention a lot more in high school.
Hi, Tony. Welcome.
Thrilled to be here.
Tony Maas, he's James Beard awarded chef, big guy in Boston, so it's pretty intimidating to see him here.
Henry David Thoreau, Emily Dickinson, Edgar Allan Poe, Nathaniel Hawthorne. These literary legends all call New England home.
Growing up here, New England was a huge inspiration for my food, everything we do in the restaurant, just as it was an influence on the writing of these authors.
These writers will serve as inspiration for your culinary creations, and your dish must celebrate one of their works. You can choose any piece of writing, be it a novel, a short story, or a poem.
The diner should also be able to visually see this story on the plate. This can be demonstrated by presentation, cooking techniques, textures, or flavors.
Tomorrow, you'll have 3 hours to prep and cook at Steel and Rye Restaurant and Bar. You'll serve your dishes to a dining room full of notable authors and literature buffs, as well as the judges.
Make your high school English teachers proud.
All right, guys, it's time to hit the books. Take a moment to study up before you go shopping. Remember, this challenge will get you a step closer to the $125,000 prize, furnished by Healthy Choice. We'll see you tomorrow. Good luck, guys.
Thank you. Thanks, Chef.
A lot of knife work today.
Yeah.
The Raven is just such an amazing story of, you know, darkness and love. Every ingredient actually tells an important part of the story.
I'm using grilled Cornish hen to represent the Raven. I'm using parsnips and beets to represent snow and love. And I'm also going to do a nori technique, which will represent this blackness overclouding this man's soul.
Katsuji is the perfect choice for beating Stephen King.
What, because I'm a sick person?
Yeah, because you're sick in the head, my friend.
Thank you, sir. I'm making a fabada. It's a Spanish dish that's like a stew with short ribs, BUCO, and with a red beet puree. The red beets represents the blood that it's dumped on carry at prom. It's just gory. I want to make people say shh in a good way. Behind you.
George, how's it going?
So far, so good, bro. I'm glad I picked Dr. Seuss. There's a lot of great books he's had, and I remember reading them as a child.
2 hours and 30 minutes.
I feel like if you're gonna do a carrot soup for Tom Colicchio, it has to be one of the best he's ever had. So I really gotta get as much carrot flavor as I possibly can. Just like Emily Dickinson did in her poems, you know, like how much can you get out of one line? So I have raw carrots, carrot juice, I'm grilling carrots. I just wanna develop as many layers as flavors as possible, and I can plate it like the sunset. I got flavor.
Hey, Chef.
Hey, Chef.
Hey, George. Hey, Chef, how are you?
Good, how's it going? Good, Chef
Going
Tony?
well?
Tony Maas?
Yes. How are you doing, Chef?
Okay. What are you working on?
One fish, two fish, red fish, blue fish. I kind of have like some mussels, some clams, and some calamari. And then as far as the colors go, I have Peruvian purple potatoes that play the blue role.
Got it. Sure.
And then I have some like roasted red peppers to play the red role.
Was this challenge hard, like try and tell a story through another story?
Yes, you know, like you don't want to be too literal, but at the same time, you do have to portray the story on your dish.
All right, cool. Well, you have immunity, so you're not going anywhere. Good luck.
Thank you very much.
I look forward to trying the dish.
Absolutely, thank you, sir.
Katsuji, where's the nitro?
Right next to the mixer.
Minutes, guys, 12 minutes. You still blending?
I have one more to blend and I'm done.
Hello.
Guys, Francis.
Francis Lam is a very important figure in the food world. He came out to our food festival in Portland last year, so I'm really excited to be able to cook for him again today.
So, for my inspiration today, I chose The Raven by Edgar Allan Poe. It's definitely a poem of love and desperation. So we have seared beef tenderloin, grilled hen, parsnip puree, beets, and crispy nori. The hen, obviously grilled, represents the raven. Beets representing the blood, the love, the care for Lenore. The mash represents the last bit of hope in everything. His will to remember is stronger than his will to forget.
Wow. Great story. Every bit of this dish has a purpose for the story you're telling.
I was worried that you gave us all this meaning, and when I tasted it, it would feel forced, but it has great flavor. I actually think that the nori sort of ties everything together.
Thank you, Gregory.
Thank you.
Wow.
Hi, George.
I have Dr. Seuss, one fish, two fish, red fish, blue fish. So I had a play on that with some calamari, mussels, clams. There's a seafood emulsion on there, and then a pan-seared branzino. I put like some purple potatoes, some red peppers, a lot of different colors, so that it would be a little bit more vibrant, kind of like how Dr. Seuss style was.
This dish feels and tastes very beautiful, very delicious, very classic. In a way, it's a little bit buttoned up.
I agree with you, Francis. I think the dish tastes fantastic. I think it's seasoned well. It just feels a little tight. I want you to go a little crazy, like of all the books.
No, you're right, you're right.
Thing 1 and Thing 2 are really tasty. They're just not Seussian.
Right.
All right, thank you so much,
Thank you very
George.
much, guys.
So my author was Henry David Thoreau. I used his book, Walden. During his days there, he does a lot of farming. Also, Henry David Thoreau is a vegetarian, so today I have roasted vegetables with a charred onion soil and a tom kha snow.
So is this a snowy night on Walden Pond?
So when spring arrives, he watches the pond melt.
There's potential for the charred onion soil and the tom kha snow to be a lot of technique and not a lot of flavor. But I'm actually tasting both in a really subtle, gentle way, and I think they complement the vegetables really nicely. Thank you.
I think the lemongrass is really beautiful, and the tom kha, I think that coconut really comes through.
If you put this dish on a menu in a restaurant and said this is roasted spring vegetables, Walden Pond, you can get away with that. I think, number one, it's really flavorful. You tell a story, and you had the technique to pull it off.
Love it.
Thanks, Meg.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Today I had Nathaniel Hawthorne. The dish is based around the Blythedale romance. It takes place on a farm, and it's about a community that tries to better the world. You're having a seared halibut with spring vegetables. We have morels, charred baby corn, asparagus, peas. One of the major themes in the book revolves around the seasons. And so the tableside mushroom broth represents the fall overcoming the spring.
It's pretty light. You kept everything really light and fresh, then decided to char the corn. Why?
That represents a bit of the darkness of the fall.
They all hate each other by the end, so.
Well, they may hate themselves by the end of that book, but I will like this for a long time. You talked about having this really light spring flavors and then finishing with something dark and fall-like, and you really nailed it.
It's hard to roast halibut and actually keep it moist inside, and my piece is beautifully cooked.
Thank you.
You kept it clean enough where the vegetables are really, actually, to me, more the star, but not overwhelming the fish. It's well done.
Thank you, Melissa.
Thank you so much.
Very well done. Thank you.
Here we are.
Thank you.
There we go.
So this is actually inspired by I forgot.
Stephen King.
Stephen King, I'm sorry, with the Book of Carrie.
This is embarrassing.
And I took a dish that my mom would make for me. It's called FABADA, white beans, chorizo, jamon serrano, and then short rib veal ossobuco with a red beet puree and hot sauce. The mother being represented by the beef short rib, and the daughter being represented by the veal ossobuco. The beets represents when they pour the pork's blood on top of her. Then I have some chili sauce that represents like the anger that she has inside of her to make everybody just pretty much die.
Congratulations, you've made probably the most unappetizing looking dish I've ever seen in my life. Boy.
I don't know if it's good or bad in this case.
That could be good.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's actually something about it that I don't find unappetizing. I mean, the beet is so vibrant. I liked that there was a discordance in your dish because it is a horrifying story.
Yeah, the meat's nicely cooked. That's good flavor. There's good heat in it.
I do wish that the sauces were thinner.
I didn't interpret them at all as sauces. I felt them that if they were purees.
What do you think your mom would say about this dish?
My mom will say that I'm a sick person for doing that explosive plate.
Thank you, Katsuji.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, Jack.
Hi. I had Emily Dickinson. One of the phrases that popped out of me was sunset in a cup. So I thought for colors, I'd do sunset in a bowl. It's kind of a grilled carrot bisque with grilled carrots, orange, a little cumin vinaigrette, radish, and some dandelion.
I think your carrot soup is delicious.
I appreciate the fact that you do really get a strong carrot flavor.
There really is an intensity, a depth in the dish. And of all the dishes we were served today, it really popped.
Thank you.
I got married on Martha's Vineyard, so not far from here. And there's a beach in Menemsha that you go to, and everybody watches the sun go down. And when the sun goes down, everybody stands up and applauds. And I would applaud this dish. Because I think it's not showing off, and it's about taking a few humble things and making them delicious.
Thank you.
Thank you, Doug. You can go back to
you
the
guys.
kitchen.
Thank you, guys.